Brethren, the presentation that I've taken from Solomon today is entitled Masonic Apron. The origin of the apron and its association with chivalric orders. In summary, a short history of connection between operative and speculative Masons as portrayed through our distinctive apron, and its association in the ritual with the Golden Fleece, Roman Eagle, and Star and Garter. And this presentation follows on from a nugget that I've previously given. The apron, the distinguishing badge of a Mason. Why do we wear an apron and what is its significance? Our order is founded on operative masonry, and operative Masons, in common with most other artisans, wear aprons for the protection of their clothing. Different trades use different aprons, each suitable for the purpose. Originally, the entered apprentice wore an apron with a bib secured with a tape around his neck. The bib was to protect the upper part of his clothing when clasping a heavy stone, such as a pillar, with both arms. Later, as he became proficient in his trade, he became an artisan, and his job was then to smooth and prepare the stone for its place in the building. He then had no use for the upper portion of the apron, so he let it hang down over the lower part. Hence our own badge, with a triangular piece overlapping the square portion. There are several explanations of this triangular portion of the apron, all or any of which may be correct, but the following seems the most logical of them. The significance of the apron is servitude. Certain dignitaries of the Anglican Church wear an apron as part of their clerical dress. Thus, a person signifies the service that is expected of a Freemason to his neighbour. When investing the entered apprentice with the badge, he is informed that it is more ancient than the Golden Fleece or Roman Eagle, and more honourable than the Star and Garter. The wording of the investiture was compiled in about 1717 and was revised in 1813. The Golden Fleece lies in Greek legend. King Peleus of Thessaly had ousted his brother Aeson, and to rid himself of Aeson's son Jason, he persuaded him to go and fetch the Golden Fleece, which hung on an oak tree at Ares in Colchis. It was guarded by a dragon. The fleece itself came from the mythical ram on which Phrixus and Helle escaped from death, and was hung in the grove at Ares by Phrixus, who alone survived the flight from his native land. The adventures of Jason and his 50 companions, as we know them Argonauts, who sailed with him, make one of the finest stories of Greek literature. The Order of the Golden Fleece was founded by Philip the Good, Duke of Burgundy, in January 1429, on occasion of his marriage to Isabella, daughter of King John I of Portugal. The order was instituted for the protection of the Catholic Church. The Golden Fleece was chosen as the emblem because wool was the predominant product of the lower European countries in which the order flourished. The number of knights of the order was 24. In 1433, the number was raised to 33, all gentlemen by birth. In 1477, on the marriage of Mary of Burgundy with Duke Maximilian, the Grand Mastership of the order passed to the House of Habsburg. The last chapter of the original order was held by Philip II of Spain in the Cathedral of Ghent. Up to that time, the knights had filled the vacancies by their own votes, but Philip II obtained permission of Pope Gregory XIII to nominate the knights himself. After the Spanish Netherlands were ceded to Austria in 1713–14, the Austrians claimed the office. The resulting dispute split the order in two parts, one in Austria and one in Spain. The jewel of the order, which differs slightly in the two countries, is a golden ram hanging from a ring which passed around its middle. This is suspended from a scroll in a very elaborate design, with the motto, "The reward of labour is not trifling." Of course, it's written in Latin. The jewel, in turn, is attached to a golden collar made up of links. Each link is in the form of a capital B, with rays issuing from it. The collar is usually worn with full dress. On ordinary occasions, a broad red ribbon collar is worn in its place. Since its inception, this order has been considered as the most important and highest of all civil orders on the European continent. The order has no standing in England, hence we hear little of it. No British subject is permitted to accept this, or any other foreign order without special permission from the sovereign. At the time of the dispute over the order between Austria and Spain in 1714, speculative masonry was gaining a firm footing, and its ritual was then revised and prominence given to the Golden Fleece. The Roman eagle also has an interesting history. The eagle was highly esteemed among the Romans. It was usually depicted with outstretched wings, sometimes of gold and silver, but most frequently of bronze. It was carried at the head of a staff in the same manner as a banner. In fact, the eagle borne upon a spear appears to have been used first by the Persians. The Romans took the idea from them and used it as an emblem of honour, to be carried before the chief ruler. In 1804, Napoleon had metal eagles carried before his army. Austria and Russia both had double eagles as a symbol of their empires. The symbol of the United States of America is the bald eagle. In 1701, Frederick I of Prussia founded the Order of the Black Eagle. The number of knights was limited to 30, exclusive to the princes of royal blood. The revisers of our ritual probably selected the reference to the Roman eagle as it was the highest emblem of dignity, honour and power of that famous empire. The Order of the Garter. The Order of the Garter is, of course, something we know more about, being a British order. It is the highest order of knighthood in Great Britain, and is considered the most honourable and exclusive in the world. Its full title is the Most Noble Order of the Garter. According to tradition, King Edward III, who was dancing with the Countess of Salisbury at a ball held on the 18th of January 1343, picked up a blue garter that had dropped from her leg and tied it around his own. Observing the Queen's uneasy glances and the consternation of the Countess, he returned it to its owner with the remark, "Evil be to him who thinks evil." At this time, the king had been successful in the French campaign and was contemplating a second expedition. He resolved to institute an order of knighthood in honour of his success, as well as a means of rewarding his army favourites. He placed the order under the protection of St. George. For 179 years, it remained practically as an institute by Edward III, but in 1522, Henry VIII revised the statutes. The colour of the emblem was blue, which at the time was the French national colour. The motto translated, "Let him be dishonour who thinks ill of it," was appropriate whether applied to the French expedition or to the order itself. Formerly, the knights were elected by the members, but since the reign of George III, all appointments have been made by the reigning sovereign. Originally called the Order of St. George, it now consists of the sovereign, who is the Grand Master, the Prince of Wales, and 25 knights known as companions. In addition, it is open to all English princes, lineal descendants of George I, and foreign sovereigns as may be chosen by the king or queen. On occasions, other companions are admitted for special reasons, so that the whole order usually numbers about 50. The insignia consists of the garter, the collar, and the Great George, the star, the ribbon and badge, or when the collar and star are not worn, it is substituted by the Lesser George. The garter is of blue velvet ribbon, the particular tint being known as garter blue. The ribbon is edged with gold and fastened by a gold buckle on the left leg below the knee. It bears the motto of the order in letters of gold, or sometimes in diamonds. When the sovereign is a woman, it is worn on the left arm above the elbow. The collar consists of 25 pieces, alternately gold love knots and buckled garters enamelled in blue, enclosing roses. From the centre link of the collar hangs the badge of the Great George. It is a figure of St. George as a knight in gold enamel and set with jewels. He is depicted on horseback, overthrowing a dragon with a spear. The star was added by Charles I in 1629. It consisted of 8 silver rays encrusted with diamonds, issuing from a buckled garter, bearing the motto and enclosing a white field of enamel with the red cross of St. George set upon it. When the collar and the Great George are not worn, the Lesser George, as it is called, is used. It is similar to the Great George, but much smaller, and hangs from a broad blue ribbon which passes slantwise over the left shoulder. The robes of the order are of equal magnificence. The order became prominent in the 17th century after Charles I added the star to the insignia. On ordinary occasions, the star is worn on the breast and the garter below the knee. Full regalia is only worn when the Grand Chapter meets or at a ceremony such as a coronation. The order meets at Windsor Castle. So, brethren, we have our badge of white for purity, of lambskin for innocence. It is more ancient than the Golden Fleece, founded in 1429, and the Roman eagle, instituted in 1701, and more honourable than the garter, initiated in 1343, which is the highest order of knighthood in the world. To repeat the words of the senior warden given when investing the badge, never disgrace that badge, for it will never disgrace you. Well, I hope you found that interesting, brethren, and have enjoyed the presentation. Thank you for your very kind attention.